Chinese panda keepers wear panda costumes to prevent human attachment. My dad's friend made a wooden chain using a single log. After Singmorni, the proud owner of the world's longest and heaviest turban, weighing in at 100 pounds with a length 645 meters, it takes up to 6 hours to put it on. Hiker witnesses St Helens blow up from Mount Adams in 1980. Photo of a residential subdivision in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. This butterfly my uncle found has the number 88 in its wings. Dish towel used by Ali to surrender to Union forces, known as the final flag of the Confederacy. Puppy born with an extra tail on his forehead. London church converted into swimming pool. I found a letter from the USPS to my dad back in 1990. Matt, on July 17th, you found a notebook lying along Sinclair Street. You went through the notebook and found a test paper with a name on it and promptly returned it to the customer. The notebook was that of a college student and contained his notes from class. He had inadvertently left them on the roof of the family car and drove off. His mother, Mrs., wrote a letter stating without that notebook, our son would not be able to complete the course. Your actions reflect a genuine concern for your customers. You are to be commended for helping to enhance the image of the postal service. Sincerely, Postmaster. Bulk cats waiting to be auditioned for a horror film, 1961. Photographed by Ralph Crane. An Amazonian tree with leaves the size of a man. 6 people can have their own lock and each one can open the gate alone. Extremely small banana. Movie posters from Ghana. Presidents of Czechia and Slovakia often travel together. This time they also carpooled with President of Slovenia. The Soviet research station at the South Pole of Inaccessibility in Antarctica is almost completely covered with snow, 65 years after it was built. Trees in Schönbrunn Park. This is not a scene from any game or image of Fantasy World. This is aerial shot of housing development on the outskirts of Mexico City, photographed by Oscar Ruiz. People used to shove their used razor blades into the wall. This actually makes a lot of sense. Razor blade slot. Major companies changing their profile photo for Pride Month on most social media accounts, but always excluding the Middle East account. Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz Middle East. BMW. BMW Middle East. Cisco. Cisco Middle East. Lenovo. Lenovo Middle East. Bethesda. Bethesda Middle East. House carved into a stone by a 15th century Romanian monk. According to a new update by the South Korean National Intelligence Service, North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un's weight has ballooned to 308 pounds, 140 kilograms, and is likely suffering from insomnia, the result of a vicious cycle of heavy boozing and snow skiing. Almost 5 million people were in the sky at the same time, Flight Radar 24. The flight tracking service recorded a record number of flights on May 26, 22,000 at one time. A 2-year time lapse showing how braces correct your teeth. Kazakh nomads' unique sheep washing method. Throw the sheep into the river as far as possible to achieve the purpose of washing the sheep. A forensic artist used 3D scans of the hunter-gatherer's cranium, whose skull was mounted on a stake 8,000 years ago, to envision what he may have looked like in life. Tanks displayed at Russian Victory Parade 2020 versus the single World War II tank displayed 2023. A rug carved into the wooden floorboards. This store in Germany posts the date, day/month/year of the last price increase for every product. Handmade electric violin made in 1975 by Mark Wood. Toledo, Spain. This is the world's smallest window, smaller than the palm of an adult's hand. Its true function is still unknown. Normal distribution in action at the local gym. The oath skull from Germany is believed to date back to the 16th or 17th century. It is a human skull that features the Sator formula inscribed within a letter square. The significance and purpose of the Sator formula remain unclear, leading to various interpretations over the years. In my elementary school in Vietnam, class tables can be unfolded into beds for students to take a lunch nap, like these. Eucalyptus diglopta, otherwise known as rainbow eucalyptus, is a species of tree native to Indonesia, the Philippines and Papua New Guinea, characterized by its striking multicolored bark. Musa Sahaya, a 68-year-old man in Uganda, has 12 wives and has fathered 102 kids. Sahaya says he often forgets his children's names. A Corinthian helmet found with the soldier's skull still inside from the Battle of Marathon, which took place in 490 BC during the first Persian invasion of Greece. 20-speed transmission shifting pattern. Calvin Coolidge with a headdress, after being officially adopted by the Lakota Nation in 1927. He was adopted in gratitude for signing the Indian Citizenship Act into law that year, giving full US citizenship to all natives on American soil. He was given the name Wan Blita Kahi, or Leading Eagle. Eva and her sister Miriam, both twins, were spared and taken by Joseph Mengele, the niece angel of doubt, for experiments. They endured months of medical texture, enduring injections of unknown substances that even modern doctors cannot identify. Japanese rail workers build special tunnels to save turtles from train dulls. Sir Robert Watson Watt, the inventor of radar, was caught speeding with a radar gun and reportedly said, "My God, if I'd known what they were going to do with it, I'd have never have invented it." Rock carving of Giraffe Dabus, Niger, Africa. The age of the find is approximately 9,000 years. The Clermont-Ferrand Cathedral's bulk color stands out, made from bulk lava rock. Its strength allows the construction of highly delicate pillars. The M497 Black Beetle jet-powered train, which set the US rail speed record in 1966. Record of 183.68 miles per hour, 295.6 kilometers per hour, stands to this day. A street in Paris after weeks of garbage collector strikes. This building represents the historical layers of Istanbul, Turkey. Paintings of recreations of Tenochtitlan, the ancient yet wonderful Aztec Empire. Japan teaching children how to use guns in preparation for the US invasion of Japan. Estimated casualties were upwards of 1 to 4 million for the invasion. For comparison, the US lost 400,000 people in all of World War II. the long unfinished mountain monument of Lakota warrior Crazy Horse, located in Crazy Horse, South Dakota. Construction was started in 1948 and the very rough estimate of completion, including his body and his horse, is 2037. X-ray of Nikola Tesla's foot, taken by himself on a device of his own design in 1896. This is what our moon would look like if our eyes were super sensitive to the subtle colors of its minerals. Picture I took of this month's strawberry mineral moon. Telberry Mount, in Syria. From afar, it looks like a natural hill, but in reality, it's layers upon layers of settlements, the earliest dating back to the Neolithic. Neolithic people would frequently destroy old settlements and build directly over them, leading to artificial mounts like this one. The westernmost point of China is closer to Germany than it is to the easternmost point of China. You're looking at more than 45,000 galaxies. The sun set in Ontario during the wildfires. Amur is a fern endemic to every major Hawaiian island and it's usually found in wet forests. The new fronds are often colored red as a way to block harmful rays from the sun. The ancient process of cedar stripping can still be seen today and might be the answer to sustainable wood farming. According to a 1945 memo to D.M. Ladd, then assistant to the FBI Director Hoover, some Japanese balloons sent over the US during World War II were found to contain anthrax. Insect repellent auto sprayer. Phu Hoa, Vietnam. This basalt rock formation is caused by volcanic material interacting with the sea, resulting in 35 keystone columns all over the beach. Working Super Mario Bros. For NES Reddit Edition. Chastity belts. When the knight left for the Holy Lands on the Crusades, his lady would wear a chastity belt to preserve her faithfulness to him. Emperor Nicholas II of Russia with his physically similar cousin, King George V of the United Kingdom, right, wearing German military uniforms in Berlin before the war. 1913. Yuki the wolf dog lived in Shy Wolf Sanctuary in Florida after being saved from a kill shelter as a puppy. DNA tests concluded that he was 87.5% Grey Wolf, 8.6% Siberian Husky, and 3.9% German Shepherd. He passed away from blood cancer at the age of 13 in 2020. A man named Dashrath Manjhi carved a 360 feet long path through a mountain for 22 years using only a hammer and a chisel to reduce the distance between his village and the nearest hospital from 55 kilometers to 15 kilometers to ensure that no one would die like his wife did because they could not get her medical care. A poor man's labor of love. Underneath Walt Disney World lies a labyrinth of utility corridors, or utilitas. These corridors allow costumed characters to make their way across the park without being seen by visitors, as well as housing the waste disposal and electrical or computer systems for the park. There is an area beneath the US Capitol known as the Crypt of the Capitol. It was built to house the bodies of George and Martha Washington before George decided to be buried at Mount Vernon. Australia's Royal Flying Doctor Service will land its turboprops and small jets, day or night, on roads or dirt strips lit by burning toilet rolls, if they have to. They provide airborne intensive care and emergency retrieval service to the outback at no cost to the patient. The rocket that fell in the center of Kharkov was stuck without the explosion. It was a different irony that the rocket got stuck in the crosswalk when Russia said we are not harming civilians. While not actually a mythological creature, the one-eyed albino baby shark is definitely as close to fantasy as possible. The bizarre creature was found inside another shark, an adult one, which died after being caught in the fisherman's nets. the Langmen Grottos, a Buddhist cave complex located 13 kilometers south of Luoyang in China's Henan province, form some of the most significant and exquisite representations of ancient Chinese stone art. Villa Caprarella is a mansion in the town of Caprarella in the province of Viterbo, Italy. The project was initiated by then Cardinal Alessandro Farnese, from the powerful Farnese family, in 1504. The rooms are named after iconography which is vividly depicted on the walls and ceilings. Megalodon jaws compared with a great white shark with Dr. Jeremiah Clifford, who specializes in fossil reconstruction. For size comparison, Megalodon was the largest shark to ever live and was from the Miocene era, thankfully millions of years ago. Best plate of Antoine Fravo, struck, and quite obviously killed, by a cannonball, serving in Napoleon's army at the Battle of Waterloo, June 1815. Roman sleeve collar, 4th century AD inscription, I have fled, hold me, when you bring me back to my masters on Innis you receive a solidus. Mel Blanc, the voice of Bugs Bunny and Porky Pig, has the words "that's all folks" on his grave. They were his last words in real life and on TV. The safety pin to the atomic bomb Fat Man which was dropped on the Japanese city of Nagasaki. Shortly after pulling this, at least 40,000 people were killed instantly, now located in the Truman Presidential Library in Independence, Missouri. The castle of Rocca-Calascio in Abruzzo, Italy, is the highest castle in the Apennines. Built in the 10th century, it is unusual as it was built to accommodate troops, and never as a residence for nobility. The pale blue dot. On February 14, 1990, the Voyager 1 space probe was commanded by NASA to turn around and take one last photo of our solar system before leaving it forever. The tiny blue dot is Earth. Imperial passport of Kublai Khan, I'm the emissary of the Khan. If you defy me, you die. This is one of 2 known passports. Say hello to the newly named species Homo bodonensis. They are the immediate ancestors of modern humans. The Blue Moline floating dry dock moving a 100,000-ton oil rig from South Korea to Texas. The Blue Moline is designed to sink beneath another ship or vessel and then float back up, lifting the other vessel with it, allowing it to easily transport the other vessel. Incredible engineering. In 1984, astronaut Bruce McCandless is seen floating above Earth. He is farther away from the safety of his spaceship than any astronaut had ever been. This was made possible by a jetpack on his back called the Manned Maneuvering Unit. After testing the unit, he was able to free fly 320 feet away. Size of outer shells and inner cluster bombs of US bombs that were dropped in the hundreds of millions on Laos, Vietnam, and Cambodia by the US for decades, and are still being dug out of countryside till today. Queen Isabel II, veiled, 1855 Common Era, work of Camillo Torrigiani. Special effect of marble is achieved from the way sculptor let light and shadows play tricks to our eyes, to make us believe it was see-through, just like real lace. At $8.3 million for around 40 milligrams, the British Vienna 1C magenta is the world's most expensive object by weight. It's a postage stamp from 1856, the only one of its kind. Blue whales are commonly compared to the size of a basketball court. Proportionally, they also boast the largest phallus, ranging from 8 to 10 feet, 2.5 to 3 meters, with a 1 foot diameter. Not only this, but each tentacle can weigh up to 150 pounds. Construction on the Palace of the Soviets was abandoned in 1941. The building was projected to be 416 meters, 1,365 feet high. The foundations were used to build Moskva Pool, the largest open-air swimming pool in the world. This was demolished in 1994 to make way for the Second Cathedral of Christ. Children play by a tall boy bomb crater with the wreck of the German battleship Tirpitz in the background, being broken up near Norway. When Paris Notre Dame Cathedral burnt down, Ubisoft, the creators of video game Assassin's Creed, had mapped the cathedral for their game and offered their plans and expertise to help rebuild the iconic building, as well as €500,000 to help with the restoration and reconstruction. The brown with bulk spots is an Asian lady beetle. The red with bulk spots is a ladybug. The Asian lady beetle produces chemicals that are toxic. They will embed themselves in your pet's mouth and can be dangerous. Workers Graham Dagg of England and Philip Cazette of France link hands in the midpoint of the 50 km or 31-mile Channel Tunnel during construction, 1990. This is Anatoly Bugorsky, a Russian particle physicist. In 1978, he had an accident. He was working on the U-70 synchrotron particle accelerator, but the safety mechanism failed, and a particle beam shot through his head. Despite the ludicrously fatal levels of radiation in him, he somehow survived. A plant incapable of photosynthesis, but good at forming bridges. Having no chlorophyll, pinodrops make their living as parasites on mycorrhizal fungi, which in turn are parasitic on conifer roots. I personally found this one growing in an aspen grove, which are known to be interconnected with fungi. Winnipeg was an American bulk bear purchased in Canada at the start of World War I by an Canadian cavalryman and brought to London Zoo. She inspired A. Milne and E. H. Shepard's character Winnie the Pooh.